Now here we have added 15 rows of raw components with rondelles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. And now the next row would be with rondelles and pearls. We are going to make a base for adding the pearl raw components. So for this we are going to pick up one rondelle, one 3 mm pearl and one rondelle and pass through this rondelle. Here we are going to create the base for the pearls just as we did for the rondelles here in the beginning. And now stepping up into the rondelle, into the pearl and into this rondelle and into the next rondelle. Now I will pick up one rondelle and one 3 mm pearl and pass through this rondelle and into the bottom one like this, moving up. Now I will be moving clockwise, so I will pick up the pearl first and the rondelle and pass through this bottom rondelle up into the rondelle, into the pearl, down through the rondelle. Now I'll be moving anti-clockwise, so after passing through this rondelle I will pick up one rondelle and one 3 mm pearl and pass through all these beads like this, move up and now clockwise, so I will pick up one 3 mm pearl and the rondelle and into this rondelle at the bottom, up through the rondelle into the pearl. Now we are going to add a row of raw components with the pearls. So for this I'm picking up 3 mm pearls and pass through this pearl like this into the pearl and into this pearl and the next. So this way we are going to add this row with pearls raw component. Now here I have completed my row with pearls raw component, and now I have added this first row of our pearl raw component, and now I'll be adding my second row of pearl raw component. So for this again I'm picking up 3 mm pearls and pass through this pearl. So this is our second row of pearls raw component and move up. Into this 3 mm pearl, and this way I'll be completing this row of raw component with pearls. Now here I have completed 2 rows of pearls, and now stepping up into this pearl we would be adding the rows of raw component with rondelles once again. So for this I'm going to pick up 3 rondelles and pass through this 3 pearl, stepping up into the rondelles and into the next 3 pearl. So this way I'm going to add this row of rondelle. Now here you can see that we added in all 16 rows of rondelles. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16. 16th was the one where we added these pearls as the base for these pearl raw component. Now after adding our pearl raw component, we have added the first row of the rondelles for creating the base for our rondelles raw component. So here we have made the first row. Now again we are going to add 16, in all 16 rows of raw component with rondelles. So here we have added our first row. Now we would be adding 15 more rows of raw components with rondelles. So for this I will pick up 3 rondelles and pass through this row, this rondelle, and so this is my first raw component of the second row with rondelles. So here I have completed this first raw component of the second row of rondelles, and now I'll be making 4 more for this row and come back. So here I have completed the second row of raw components with rondelles, and as I already told you that we are going to make 16 such rows. So here we have completed 2 rows. I'll be completing 14 more rows and come back. Now here I have completed my 16 rows of raw component. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16, and now I'll be adding the clasp to this end. For this we are going to pick up 5 11 champagne and pass through this rondelle like this. Move up through these 11 O's into these 2, down through this 11 into the rondelle. Now I will pick up 4 11 champagne and pass through this 11 in between the rondelle. So here again I have added 5, moving through this rondelle up through the 11, again pick up 4 11 champagne and pass through the rondelle like this, up through this 11 in between the rondelles, and step up into all the 11 that we added just now, down through these 3 11 into the rondelle, pick up 4 11 champagne, down through this 11 champagne into the rondelle, up through the 11 pick up 4 11 champagne and into the rondelle. Step up into the 11 like this. Now step up into these two 11s. Now for adding our box clasp to the neckband, we would need 15 seed beads, and I just forgot to mention it in the beginning of the video, but here we are going to use 15 So here this is our box clasp, and I'm taking one part of this, and here I'm going to attach it to my neckband. But for this, you can see that I'm exiting through this side of 11 and now I'm going to pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the first hole just opposite to this one of the clasp. You can also use jump rings here if you want, but here I'm using the 15 like this. Flip it up, and now again I'm going to pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the opposite side of my 11 champagne like this. So this is it, and we have to check it that we are taking it to the right side. This is the front side and this is the front side of our pendant, and here it is. And now after exiting through this 11 we will pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through the next 11 like this. Now again we will pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the second hole like this. And again we are going to flip it up. Now after flipping it up, you are again going to pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the same 11 from the opposite direction like this. This way. Now again pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through the next 11 again, flip it up, pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the third hole of the clasp. Again flip it, pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the 11 from the opposite direction like this. Now again pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through the middle 11, the next one like this. Down through these two 11s into the rondelle, up into the 11 into these two 11 O's. Into the 15 O's and the 11 O's. We are not passing through the 15 O's as we have already taken double thread, so we don't need to pass through them twice. And now after exiting through this 11 O, again I'm going to pick up two 15 O champagne and pass through the next 11 O. Like this. So here we have attached our clasp, going down, so this way we have attached our clasp to the neckband. And now we will pass through this roundel and into this one, and now we are going to tie a knot as we have completed this net, this side of neckband. The basic we have completed, and we would be doing the embellishment over this with the single thread. So here, as we are using the double thread, we are going to end the thread and cut it off. We are going to make the band first on both the sides. So here I am tying a double knot like this. Again, into the roundel, into two or more roundels, like this. And now we can cut the thread off from the neckband. So this is one side of our neckband. We would be making the neckband on the other side in the same way. Now for adding the neckband on the other side, we would be doing the same thing as we did on this side. I'll just show you the beginning, and the rest we can do the same way as we did on this side. Now for this, you can see this 11 O fuchsia that we added on the other side. Here I just started from this 11 O. Now I'll be passing through the one before it like this. And I'm going to tie a knot on the thread between this 11 O champagne and the next 3 mm pearl. Like this. Now into the pearl, into this next 11 O, and up into the next 11 fuchsia. And now we are going to add this net as we did on this side. So here again we are going to pick up 3 11 champagne. We are making this net here, so we are picking up 3 11 champagne and pass through the next 11 fuchsia like this. Again pick up 3 11 champagne and pass through the next 11 fuchsia. Again pick up 3 11 champagne and pass through the next 11 fuchsia. Like this. Now after exiting through this 11 fuchsia, I'm going to pick up 4 11 champagne, 1 3 pearl and 2 11 champagne as we did on the other side, like this. 4 11 champagne, 1 3 pearl, 2 11 champagne. Bring them down like this. And now I will pass through the first 2 11s here on this side at the bottom like this. In this way, creating a Y and attaching our pearl to it like this. And now I will pass through this 11 fuchsia into the 2 11 champagne, exiting through the middle one. And now I will pick up 2 11 champagne, 1 3 pearl like this. 2 11 champagne and 1 3 pearl, and go down through this 11 champagne on the first set like this. Now pick up 1 11 champagne and pass through this middle 11 like this. So here we have created our second pearl. Step up into these first 2 11 champagne on this net, and now pick up 1 3 pearl and 2 11 champagne, and here I'll be passing through the middle 11 or at the bottom like this. Pick up 1 11 champagne and pass through this top 11 in between the round pearls like this. So here we have added the third pearl. Now stepping up into the pearl, here we have to keep a thread nice and tight, and moving down through this first 11 champagne, pick up 1 11 champagne and pass through this 11 champagne, the middle one of the next set at the bottom like this. Pick up 2 11 champagne and 1 3 pearl, and here we will pass through this 11 champagne and this one these three 11 champagne like this, like this, and now move up into the two 11s here. Now we have added 4 and we are going to add our fifth pearl. For this I'm going to pick up one 3 pearl and 4 11 champagne and go down into this 11 fuchsia at the bottom that we added in the beginning. It's better to take smaller threads on the needle because as we take so many passes the thread gets wear up and it becomes difficult to work with it in the later phase, so it's better to take a smaller thread. Now after exiting through this 11 I will pass through this 11 these 4 11 champagne together. We can pull our needle with the help of the plier as we are taking so many passes with double thread. Into the pearl, down through these two 11 champagne and now into these two last two 11 champagne here. Again we have to keep our thread nice and tight, and here we have attached our 5 pearls and now pass through this 11 fuchsia at the bottom again. We are moving up through the 4 11s like this, like this. We are going to move up through these 4 11s and then into the pearl like this, down through these two 11s up into these two 11s and into the pearl. So now after attaching these pearls we are going to add the extension or our neckband as we have done here. Again we are going to add 3 rows of these pearls and then 16 with these rondelles, then 2 with the pearls and again 16 with the rondelles, and then we would be adding the clasp. So I will complete making this neckband till here, till adding rondelles, and come back. So friends, here I have completed my neckband. As I have done here, I added 3 rows of these pearls raw component and again added 3 on the other side. Then as I did here, 16 rows of raw component with rondelles. Here also I have completed 16 rows of raw components with rondelle. Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I have added 2 rows of raw component with pearls, and then again 16 rows of raw component with rondelles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So here I have completed the neck band on the other side, and now we are going to add the clasp to this end. Now for adding the clasp, here again we are going to add 11 O's first. So for this I am picking up 5 11 O champagne, and as I am exiting through this rondelle, I will pass through the first rondelle like this, move up through this first 11 O that I just added like this. Now I will pick up 4 11 O champagne and pass through the second rondelle like this, move up through this 11 O, step up into the 11 O's that I just added in the second set, and after exiting through this 11 O, I will pass through the next rondelle. Now again I will pick up 4 11 O champagne and pass through this 11 O like this into the rondelle, step up into the first 11 O, again pick up 4 11 O champagne and pass through the rondelle up through the 11 O into these 11 O's, down through these 11 O's into the rondelle. Now again pick up 4 11 O champagne and pass through this 11 O into the rondelle like this. So this way we have added the loops, and now we are going to step up into these 2 11 O's and into the middle one, that is the center one, third one, and pick up 2 15 O champagne and pass through the middle 11 O champagne of the next set like this. Now we will check the direction here. So this is the back side and this is the front side of our necklace, and bringing the two ends like this. Here I have brought the two ends and the clasp. So the clasp will go this way into the box, so I have to attach it this way. So I will just hold it like this, and now pick up 4 15 O champagne. Here I have picked up 4 15 O champagne, and right now I'm exiting through this 11 O, and I will enter through the first hole of the clasp, and then like this. I'm here, you can see I'm exiting through this side of the 11 O. Now I will pick up 4 15 champagne and enter through the opposite side of this same 11 champagne like this. So here, this way we will be attaching our clasp. Now I will pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through the middle 11 of the next set like this. Pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the second hole of the clasp. Again pick up 4 15 champagne and through the opposite side of the 11 we are going to enter the same 11 like this. And now pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through the middle 11 of the next set like this. Again pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the third hole of the clasp like this. Again pick up 4 15 champagne and pass through the same 11 from the other side like this. So here we have attached our clasp. Now again we are going to pick up 2 15 champagne and pass through the middle 11 of the last set like this. So here we have attached the clasp, and now we will come down through these 11s into the roundels, move up through this 11, and now we will be tying a knot here in between these 11s, again moving up into the 11s, again down into these 11s, once again I will tie a knot in between the 11 and the roundel, and pass through the roundel up through the 11 into the next 11 like this, into the two 11s, into the roundel, and now we can cut our thread off like this. After exiting through this roundel, we can cut our thread off, and here we have completed the base of our neck belt with draw stitch, and now we are going to embellish this neckband. For embellishing the neckband, we are going to take the single thread on our needle. Here I have taken about 30 inches of thread, and here I'll be using single thread for adding the embellishment on this neckband, as we have to take passes through these rondelles and we have already taken so many passes, so it will become difficult to take double thread and pass through them. So here, as we will be adding the embellishment, we are going to use only the single thread, and here I'm using 30 inches of length of my thread, and I'll be working with this thread on one side. And for this we are going to start from this end. We have to be very careful while choosing the side. This is our front side, so we will be adding the embellishment on this side. Now for adding the embellishment, I will pass through this 11 into these 3 11 and bringing this tail here, hold it, and now I will tie a double knot here like this, and then I will pass through the 215 that we added in between these 11 like this into the 11 so into this 11 then into the 15 again into the 11 and the 2 15 into the 11 and into the 15 and into these 11 like this, down through these 2 11 into the next rondelle, and now up through this rondelle. Now here we can cut the tail off, and now I will pick up 1 11 champagne and pass through the next rondelle like this, and now I will pick up 1 11 fuchsia silver line and pass through the next rondelle. Again pick up 1 11 fuchsia silver line and pass through the next rondelle, and now pick up 1 11 champagne and pass through the last rondelle of this row like this. If you want, you can only add 11 champagne, all the fours, and here I would be adding these embellishment in this pattern. Now pass through this next rondelle and into the next row, passing through this rondelle. Now again I'm picking up 1 11 champagne and pass through the next rondelle, like this. Pick up one 11 of fuchsia and pass through the next rondelle. Again pick up one 11 of fuchsia and pass through the next rondelle. Pick up one 11 of champagne and pass through the next rondelle, like this. Now moving towards the next row, pass through the next rondelle of this raw component, into this rondelle, like this. Again picking up one 11 of champagne and pass through the next rondelle. Again picking up one 11 of champagne. Sorry, now I have to pick up one 11 of fuchsia silver line and pass through the next rondelle. Again pick up one 11 of fuchsia silver line and pass through the next rondelle. One 11 of champagne and pass through the next rondelle. So this way we are going to add our embellishment, and we are going to get this look throughout this row. So I'll complete it till I reach this rondelle, the last row of rondelle, this one. I'll complete till I reach here and come back. So here I have completed adding these 11 O's to the part of this raw components with rondelles, and this is the final look. And here after adding this last row, I'll be passing through this rondelle into the pearl, and now here I'm going to add these 11 of champagne, like this. Again I will pick up 11 of champagne and add it to the next pearl. Again pick up one 11 of champagne and pass through the next pearl. Okay, pick up one 11 of champagne and pass through the next pearl. So this way we are going to add all 4 11 of champagne in between these pearls. Now into this 3 mm pearl, again picking up one 11 of champagne and pass through the next 3 mm pearl. So this way I'm going to add these 11 of champagne in between these pearls. Now here I have completed my portion with these pearls, and this is the look after adding these 11 between the pearls. And now I will move on to the rondelles, and in between the rondelles we are again going to follow the same pattern with 11 of champagne, 11 of fuchsia, again 11 of fuchsia, and 11 of champagne. So this way we are going to follow the same pattern throughout these rows of raw component with rondelles, and we will be adding 11 of champagne to these rows with pearls. Now here you can see that I have completed adding these 11 O's, 11 of champagne and 11 of fuchsia on this side of my neckband, and here I have reached this last row, and this row is the one where we have joined these pearls with the 11 O's and this pendant. And now after passing through this 3 mm pearl, I would pick up one 11 of champagne and pass through this next 3 mm pearl like this. Again pick up 1 11 of champagne and pass through the next 3 mm pearl. Again pick up 1 11 of champagne and pass through the next 3 mm pearl. And the last 11 of champagne and pass through the last 3 mm pearl. Like this. So here we have completed this side and we have completed adding these 11 O's on this side of the neckband, and now we would be adding these 11 O's on the edge of this neckband. So for this, after exiting through this 11 O, this 3 mm pearl, I will pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through the next 3 mm pearl like this. Pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through the next 3 mm pearl. Again pick up 1 11 O champagne, pass through the next 3 mm pearl. Pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through the next rondelle. Now pick up 11 O champagne and pass through the rondelle. Again pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through the next 11 next rondelle. And this way we are going to add these 11 O champagne in between these rondelles, pearls, and all through this row till we reach the end of this neckband here. So here I have completed adding these 11 O champagne throughout this row or throughout this edge, and now I'm exiting through this last rondelle, and now I will pick up 1 11 O champagne and here pass this round through this rondelle like this. Again pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through this rondelle. Again I will pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through this next rondelle. In this last row we are not going to add these 11 O fuchsia, we will be adding 11 O champagne all throughout like this. Again pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through this next rondelle. Again picking up 11 O champagne and pass through the next rondelle. Like this. And now after exiting through this rondelle, I will again pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through the next rondelle. Pushing this up. This. Pick up 1 11 O champagne and pass through the next rondelle, and now we would be adding these 11 O champagne all through this row till the end here, till this last pearl. Now here I have added these 11 O's throughout this edge also, and now I would be adding my last 11 O champagne and pass through this pearl. and into the 11 Now here we have completed our neckband, and now we are going to pass through these pearls and 11 for this row, this pearl and into the 11 into the pearl, into the pearl, 11 into the pearl and 11 and now into the last pearl, and after exiting through this pearl into these 11 Now here I'm going to tie a knot in between these 11 like this, up through these two 11 again into the pearl, into this pearl and into the 11 like this, into these two 11 once again tying a knot in between these 11 up through these two 11 like this, this way, and now we can cut a thread off, and here we have completed our neckband on one side, and same way we are going to complete our neckband on the other side. By first we are going to add these 11 in between here, in between these rondelles, and then we are going to add these 11 on the edge throughout this band. So friends, here I have completed the other side of the neckband also. This is the look, and this is our Tarini necklace, a complete Tarini necklace. And here, while adding these 11 on the edge, we have to be very careful. Please don't pull your thread too tight, otherwise it will bend like this and it will not get the proper shape. So very gently you have to add these 11 on the edge on both the sides of the neckband. And here, and I didn't use the fire line for these rondelles, for this raw stitch with these rondelles and pearls, because it will make this band very stiff and it won't fall perfectly on your neck. We need to make it a little flexy so that it falls perfectly on our neck. That is why I used Milky thread, and we use the double thread for making the band so that it doesn't get break up easily. And one more thing, It's better to proceed with the neckband in small parts, and better to use small threads. If you use too long thread or a very long thread and want to make this whole one side with single with double thread in one go, it won't be possible, because passing through these rondelles again and again will wear up your thread and it will get weak during the process. So it's better to take smaller threads. I made this one side of the neckband in two parts. In first I made this much, and then I added the another thread, and then I proceeded further. So it's better to make it in parts, and I had already told you how to add the thread with these rondelles, with these raw components. And this way we are going to make the neckband on both the side of this pendant. And this is our Tarini necklace, complete Tarini necklace. So friends, these are our Tarini necklace in two colorways, in pink and this is in teal green color. I hope you would love making these necklace, and in my next video I'll be showing you how to make the matching earring for these Tarini necklace, that is our Tarini earrings. So if you like my video, my designs and my tutorial, please do subscribe to my channel, and friends, please don't forget to press the bell icon so that you may get notified when I'll upload my next video. Thank you.